Thank you, Catherine. That was truly beautiful. To guide us in a tribute to our nation's most hallowed ground, please welcome star of television and film and one of the founders of the National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts, Isai Morales.
On this Memorial Day, while thousands of our troops remain in harm's way, we remember that since the birth of our nation, over 1.5 million of our service members have given their lives to our country and the values we hold so dear. More than 400,000 of these courageous men and women are laid to rest just 2 miles from here. Arlington National Cemetery, our nation's monument to bravery, valor, and sacrifice. Yet the sacred purpose of this hallowed ground was crafted from a time when Americans fought against each other. The Civil War was the bloodiest conflict in American history. The casualties so severe that in cemeteries near Washington, D.C., there were more dead soldiers than empty graves to fill them. They often were buried without recognition or ceremony in shallow graves with crude wooden markers. Within view of the nation's capital, Arlington was chosen to become the new National Military Cemetery. By war's end, over 16,000 soldiers had been buried at Arlington, many unidentified, both Union and Confederate. Arlington became known as the Field of the Dead. Great efforts were made after the war to make Arlington worthy of those laid to rest there. In 1868, May 30th was proclaimed Decoration Day, and it was promised that no neglect nor ravages of time will testify that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic. Over time, that special day became known as Memorial Day. That promise has been kept. Through the Spanish-American War, World Wars I and II, Korea and Vietnam, Arlington became a spacious and beautiful hallowed ground. 624 acres embracing lovingly tended graves. Each Memorial Day, the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment places a flag next to every single headstone. At Christmas time, over 50,000 volunteers place wreaths to honor the heroes of a grateful nation, together with their closest loved ones, side by side. They come from the Army, Navy, Marines, the Air Force, Coast Guard, and the Merchant Marines. Regardless of their fame or rank, Arlington shelters them all. But over 4,700 buried can be commemorated only by the tomb of the unknown soldier. Forever anonymous, they are tended day and night by an elite honor guard. Every president since Lincoln has come to Arlington, and 2 are laid to rest here. William Howard Taft and John Fitzgerald Kennedy, saluted by the eternal flame. Today, over 24 funerals are held here daily. Rifle salutes frequently echo over the hills of Arlington. September 11th, 2001. The Pentagon is attacked. A strange and unexpected new war begins within sight of Arlington. 42 Pentagon victims are buried here, so close to where they died. Section 60. Arlington's somber frontier is the final resting place for many killed in Iraq and Afghanistan. More than 1,000 servicemen and women have been buried here in the past 13 years. As in all of Arlington, each headstone tells a story. In Section 60, families and friends gather to remember their loved ones. Paula Davis is one of these visitors who comes here every week. Here to share her experience is the multi-award-winning actress and star of Law & Order and Chicago Med, S. Epatha Murkison.
All my only child, Justin, ever wanted to be was a ranger. Before he went in the Army, he used to wrap himself in plastic and run around the neighborhood at night to sweat off the few extra pounds he needed to qualify for basic. I bought him a Ranger t-shirt, and he wore it everywhere. I don't mind you going in, but I wish it wasn't wartime, I told him, and he laughed and said, "Ma, you should have had more kids." He was so proud of being an infantryman, so excited to be a part of the famous 10th Mountain Division going to Afghanistan. After he got there in March, he emailed me, "Ma, the Afghan people are cool. I'm gonna bring you a teapot." He had plans to go to UCLA and study acting after he got out. "I'm the man with the plan," he said. "You certainly are," I said. My only child, just 19 years old. Justin was about 3 months in and things seemed okay. Right before a mission, he even managed to call a friend to wish him happy birthday. But a few days later, that knock came to my door. 2 men in uniform told me that Justin's unit had encountered the enemy. They called in a mortar attack, and he was killed. When he deployed, I knew he was putting his life on the line, and I was hoping and praying nothing would happen. When it did, well, no one wants to have their child to bury their child. I just got numb inside, disbelief. For a long time, I stayed busy. I stayed distracted so I didn't have to go to that place in my heart. I still visit Justin at Arlington 4 or 5 times a week, but even now, sometimes the pain is so great, I don't think I can bear it. It's like a stone weighing down my soul. His voice echoes through my very being every day I'm alive. What helps me cope is seeing the other families. We offer each other encouragement, support, strength. We hug each other. We cry together. It's going to be a lifelong journey for all of us. We're with our children in the snow, the rain. Our lives are here in this ground now. We're a family. None of us wanted to be here, but we are. And we're going to take care of our kids like they sacrificed for us. I could have cried and begged Justin not to go, and he probably wouldn't have because he loved his mom. But then he would have been miserable, and I would have been miserable because I would have known I was making him miserable. I know he died doing what he loved. And if he had to die, he would have been honored to have been laid to rest here at Arlington.